Hello and welcome into The Catch here at Las Vegas Ballpark. I'm your host, Matt Neverett, and on this episode of The Catch, we're joined by a very special guest. It's our executive chef, Gary DeLucia. He was nice enough to bring us cookies and some other goodies. It'll be our most appetizing episode yet. We're also talking late season Major League Baseball playoff positions. It's some weird ones right now. We're also talking another no-no in Chicago, and the Mets sold. We'll tell you for who and how much. All that and more coming up on this episode of The Catch here at Las Vegas Ballpark. Hey there, welcome back into The Catch. I'm your host, Matt Neverett. Plenty to break down in the world of Major League Baseball. We'll keep it right here, Aviator-centric. We'll start with the Oakland Athletics, who, as of right now, have not currently clinched a playoff berth, but ESPN gives them a 100% chance to make the playoffs this year. They're currently leading in the American League West, 6.5 games as of right now over the Houston Astros for the division lead. Both ESPN and MajorLeagueBaseball.com have the Athletics as their number 4 ranked team. They were number 3 in last week's power rankings, but the surging San Diego Padres have since usurped them in both the ESPN and the MLB.com power rankings. Once again, Oakland coming in at 4th in both of those rankings. A little Aviators news with the big league club. Seth Brown, 2019 Aviator, who had a ton of success with the bat here at Las Vegas Ballpark last year, called up, making his second stint with the big league club in less than a month. Brown recalled from the alternate training site for the second time in 3 weeks after making his Major League debut late last year. The Athletics loading up on infielders after losing 2 third basemen in this very same day, including their all-star, all-world defender, Matt Chapman. The hot corner third baseman scheduled to have hip surgery this week, ending his season. The Athletics hope that he can be ready to go for spring training next year. And with that in mind, Seth Brown called up. Also, Jake Lamb signed from Arizona. Lamb, who was a 2017 All-Star with the Diamondbacks, was designated for assignment by Arizona last week. He had just 5 hits in 18 games all season with Arizona. He's an Oakland native, and in his very first game with the Athletics, turned in his first multi-hit performance of the season, including a home run. And Lamb, after the game, said that you always want to come in and make an impact. He said he hit a couple of balls well and had some great at-bats, and most importantly, he said he had a lot of fun. So Jake Lamb looking to maybe not replace Matt Chapman. You cannot replace that platinum glove defense in the field for Chapman, but hoping to kind of come in and pick up the offense. Lamb, a very good hitter, and as I mentioned, a former All-Star back in 2017 with the D-backs, looking to provide some more offensive pop for the Athletics as we're getting into playoff time. You can start extrapolating out less than 2 weeks left in the Major League Baseball shortened regular season, and we have a weird playoff picture as of right now. Number 1 seeded White Sox coming in right now with the best record in the American League, at least, leading by 2 games over the Minnesota Twins at the time of this recording. Right now, they'd be the number 1 seed in the American League, and they would take on a division foe. As of right now, the Cleveland Indians coming in, number 3 ranked team in the American League Central, the number 8 seed in the American League. So it would be an AL Central 1-8 matchup between the White Sox and the Indians if the season ended today. And it would be an AL East matchup for the 2-7 contest. The Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, kind of just doing what they do, very similar to the Athletics in the sense of doing things their own way, both on and off the field in the front office. Tampa comes in right now 3.5 games up over Toronto for the American League East lead, and the Yankees again in 3rd place in the AL East, 4 games back of Tampa with a 26-21 record as of now. So the Rays and the Yankees, as of right this second, the 2-7 matchup in the American League. And then come the Athletics, currently with the 3rd best record in the American League. And once again, they would face an in-division foe. The number 6-seeded Astros would have to travel to Oakland to get the playoffs started if it were today. And then the Twins and the Blue Jays, the only non-divisional matchup as the 4 and 5 matchup, with the Twins 4, the Blue Jays 5 if the season were to end today. So that's kind of a weird one in the American League, with 3 divisional matchups out of the 4 first-round matchups. And then flipping it over to the National League, not quite as division-centric. The 1-8 matchup as of right now is, though, it's the Dodgers and the Giants, which would be as exciting a playoff series, even in a shortened series, as we've seen in the last couple of years. The Dodgers coming in with the best record in Major League Baseball as of right now. They're only leading by a game and a half, though, over San Diego. The 2-7 matchup would be Cubs-Phillies, with the Cubs surging late, 28-20. Looks like they're going to win slightly that National League Central race. The Cardinals and the Braves, a 6-3 matchup, another division on Division I, with the Braves taking advantage of their offense. Their pitching has been tough this year, really have not gotten the arms that they were expecting. A lot of that due to injury, and they DFA'd Mike Foltynewicz, former first-round draft pick of the club. So the Braves, with the arms not performing, the bats picking up the slack. They're the number 3 seed in the National League right now. And the 4-5 matchup, if you would have told people before the season that the 4-5 matchup would be the Padres and the Marlins, I think that a lot of people would be hard-pressed to believe you. The Padres have been kind of ramping up for a couple of years now, and this was the year that they were supposed to break out, and they're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing, with Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. leading the charge. How about the Marlins, though? Currently second in the National League East. They're 24-21 as of filming, 2.5 games back. They could win that National League East. And again, before the season, a lot of people very down on the Marlins. During the season, a lot of people down on the Marlins because of the games that they had to miss due to the COVID-19 outbreak on the club. A lot of people were unsure whether the Marlins would continue their season 3 weeks ago. And all of a sudden, they're right in the thick of the playoff chase. Again, the number 5 seed if the National League playoffs were to start today. The Los Angeles Dodgers could be the very first team to clinch a playoff berth. It's a close race in the division. They're a game and a half up over the Padres as of right now, but today the Dodgers could clinch. They're playing the Padres. Magic number is 2. They need 1 win and 1 loss by the team behind them. They're playing the team behind them, so with a win tonight, as of the day of this filming, the Dodgers could be our very first team to clinch a playoff berth in the 2020 season, albeit the shortened one that a lot of people thought might not have happened. So those weird playoff pictures, only some of the weirdness going on here in 2020. One of the other stories, 28-year-old Alec Mills. If you've never heard of him, you're not the only one. The right-hander for the Chicago Cubs was a 22nd round draft pick in 2012. He walked on to the University of Tennessee Martin baseball team. The story goes he walked on day 1 of open tryouts, told the coach that he was good enough to make it, and did. Worked his way to a late-round draft pick, again, 22nd-round pick back in 2012. Not really a prospect. Oh, yeah, Alec Mills goes out and fires a no-hitter, the 14th one in Cubs history, or rather the 16th no-no in Cubs history, by blanking the Brewers. Took him 114 pitches, and that was his second start of the week. Mills tossed 6 scoreless innings against the Reds at Wrigley Field earlier in the week, followed it up with 9 innings of no-hit baseball for the 16th no-no in Cubs history. It's also the first time ever that the Cubs and the White Sox have had a no-hitter in the same season. You remember Lucas Giolito a few weeks back threw the no-hitter for the White Sox. So now the north and south side of Chicago have seen a no-hit baseball performance for the first time ever in the same season. We're talking about the White Sox. They are surging. Them and the Padres, the hottest teams in baseball right now. The White Sox in their last 26 games, 21-5, and they've outscored opponents 167 to 80 over that time. Again, 167 to 80. That's a plus 87 run differential. The White Sox just hitting the cover off the baseball. They've secured their very first winning season since 2012. The White Sox and the Padres both in a similar spot heading into the season where high expectations were placed upon them, and they both have really lived up to that. And the Padres, as we mentioned, gaining ground on the Dodgers. They're a game and a half back as of right now in the division, in the middle of a series between the two teams at Petco Park, and the Padres securing their first winning season since 2010 here this year. It's a shortened season, but you extrapolate that out from 60 to 162 games, and both the Padres and the White Sox very strong, very likely to, at the very least, win those 82 games to get you that winning record. And with everything going on, there's a pandemic, there's a lot of protests, there is a slew of wildfires in California, and it's really affecting the air quality, not only for the average everyday citizen, but for Major League Baseball players, for professional athletes. Athletics pitcher Jesus Luzardo said that he was really having trouble breathing. A lot of these players are voicing their concern. The air quality, the unit is, if it's over 200, they're not able to play. It was over 280 the other night in Seattle. A lot of players voicing their displeasure, saying that, we're professional athletes. We shouldn't struggle to breathe. Bob Melvin, the athletics manager, also voicing his opinion that, they really need to start taking a look at some of these games because they're just trying to trudge through and get through the season, get through these games with everything going on. But the safety of the players, the staff, and everybody else involved has to come first. So it'll be interesting to note what goes on heading down the line with all these wildfires as they start to contain them, how that air quality goes down, and how Major League Baseball games are affected. And lastly, but certainly not least, the Mets have a new owner, at least in principle. Steve Cohen, the $14 billion net worth hedge fund manager, has agreed to buy, in principle, his childhood favorite team, the New York Mets, in the deal rumored for over $2.4 billion. That's billion with a B. And there was rumors that SNY, their network, was going to be part of the deal initially. That is not the case. Steve Cohen rumored to be buying the Mets for $2.4 billion with a B dollars, and it's just the team. And as I said, Cohen grew up a Mets fan. The Mets fan base has been long pressed and been wanting new ownership. And Steve Cohen looks like he's going to come in and at least initially be a breath of fresh air and I guess at the very least some very deep pockets. Again, $14 billion. He's throwing out $2.4 billion for the Mets. So that's the Major League Baseball news. Plenty to go on. We got plenty coming up here on The Catch as we're joined by our Las Vegas Ballpark executive chef, Gary DeLucia. We got cookies. We got whatever you want behind me. Plenty of food. I'm getting hungry already. You won't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. This is The Catch at Las Vegas Ballpark.
What the Aviators have done is they've given a reason for Las Vegas to love their baseball team again. From the groundbreaking on, literally it couldn't be done. It was just the timeline to get a state-of-the-art stadium built was impossible. To get the team organized, ready to go, to even get out here and play, nobody really knew if we could do this. And the fact that not only we did it, but it was done at such a high professional, high quality level.
Welcome back into The Catch. I'm your host, Matt Neverett. Delighted and excited to be joined by our executive chef here at the Las Vegas Ballpark, Chef Gary DeLucia. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Catch.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure.
And you brought some goodies with you. This is my favorite episode of The Catch already. I know we're still early on, but Chef Gary DeLucia joins us after opening the T-Mobile Arena as the executive chef there, and we were talking before we came on. He opened the T-Mobile Arena. The Golden Knights go to the Stanley Cup. He opens Las Vegas Ballpark in 2019, and the Aviators make the Pacific Coast League playoffs. So something about you, Chef Gary, is pretty good luck at least.
I think it's really just my food. It attracts. It just attracts winning, and we were so excited when we made the playoffs here.
And you're from out east originally, from New Jersey originally.
Yep.
You came out to Vegas and got right into the food game. What was that like for you?
Oh, well, my idea of coming out here to Vegas was I wanted to rule Las Vegas in the culinary world. My past is I'm actually an Italian chef, pizza maker. So I originally wanted to do that, but, as the city grew, I got more and more into different things and, continental cuisine and fine dining. And I find myself here now doing some delicious, great hot dogs and chicken tenders. So.
And you come to us from another sporting venue, obviously, T-Mobile Arena. You've worked for Aramark, who does a lot of sports catering, yes. Luxor, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Yeah. How did you get into the sports realm of the culinary world?
It was all by luck, actually. I was with Aramark prior, and I was doing some work for them in stadiums and the Angels out in California, stuff like that. And then I actually did work some time here at Cashman because I was in the era of the 51s. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I wound up going to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway from there. purely by they needed a chef. So I went in, and to be honest with you, this type of cooking, specifically sports entertainment cooking, very different than a restaurant, a sit down place, fast food. So but I learned pretty quick, and we did a great job there. And that's, you're feeding 150,000 fans a race for 3 days, so it was really huge, big numbers. And from there, we were opening up the T-Mobile Arena, and it just seemed like that was my next progression from the Speedway. And we opened that up, and we were super duper successful there. Had a great time, did some really cool, fun things, and then you guys opened, and the rest is history, I believe.
It's been an exciting last couple of years for you specifically, going from a couple of big-time jobs to a couple of big-time teams and venues. You mentioned going from Cashman here to the Las Vegas ballpark. Obviously, many, many differences. What has been the biggest difference for you in your field between Cashman Field and then here in Las Vegas ballpark?
Well, number one is there's quite a bit more people here, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's a beautiful ballpark. We're brand new. We're going to rock and roll it. But our food story that we like to create in our organization, we felt we needed to tell a really cool local love story here at the ballpark. So we wanted to bring in vendors from all over the city, bring them here, and of course put our wonderful spin on our regular hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah, you've done a great job. Really, like you said, the spin on the hamburgers and the hot dogs, that was my first impression. When you get a look at the ballpark food, you look at it, it doesn't look like ballpark food. What are some of your favorite menu items?
So, and we purposely make these food items to be what we call wow items. So there's not much that isn't something where you go, wow, that's totally awesome or different or delicious. My favorite right now is we call it the 312 dog, and it's a take on a Chicago dog, but we use a jalapeno cheddar bratwurst for it. So it has a little bit of spice. And then we do all the normal Chicago dog toppings on it, and it's just really good. It's a little smoky. It's delicious, one of my favorite.
And if you go to the Las Vegas Ballpark website, it has not quite a menu, but it's got a lot of these specialty items listed with all the unique names. How did you come up with the names? How did that naming process work?
So we tried to, it's easy to call something a hot dog with macaroni and cheese on it. It's very simple, right? We wanted to incorporate either some baseball terminology, sports terminology, or for the matter of regional food terminology, like we did with the 312, which is a take again on the Chicago dog. Again, elote dog, which we do, and that's kind of a take on the LA style Mexican elote.
That's a perfect style of mine. That's one of my favorites. I had that during our big league weekend. The elote hot dog, outstanding.
Thank you.
No baseball this year here in 2020 at the Las Vegas ballpark, but we'll harken back to 2019 and maybe look forward to 2021. What does an average game day look like for you?
So it's a pretty long day, which it is probably for everybody. I get here about 8 a.m. Me and the groundskeeper are probably here, and basically, this might take a minute, so
absolutely. Walk us through.
Sure. So, I go to the office, read my emails, do my replies, work on some things that I've been working on. At that point, then 10 a.m., my AM staff will come in. I will pre-shift them about the day. We will talk about their preparation, what they need done, and then normally we then start working on the next day of food. So we try to stay a day ahead. The day of the event, we normally are just finishing food. So at that point, the rest of the shift comes in, the later shift, and we get ready to do our thing.
What's your average game day staff look like? How is that broken down as far as staffing and who goes where and how many and for how long?
So I have about 50 to 60 cooks, and I basically have an AM culinary team, a PM culinary team, and we break everything down into stations. At that point, then we do have our concession stand workers, our cooks, and all those people. They come in. There's another 50 people out there that do that. We do a quick meeting right before gates, which are usually around 6 o'clock or so, just to let them know like estimated attendance and the VIPs and all the good things that they need to know. And then it just, we go out there and we do our thing. And I will tell you, though, during an event, which I'm sure, again, a lot of you guys do this, I probably walk around 7 to 8 miles.
Just doing laps
and checking in on everybody. And then more or less around 8:30, 9 o'clock, I kind of get ready to go. I have a sous chef who's my assistant, and then he'll stay and close up.
You find that a lot working in baseball and in minor league baseball especially is once the game starts, that's almost the easy part.
Yeah,
you kind of find
right.
that more so than you would think. I want to give your staff some love. You've told us your favorite items. What are some of your staff's favorite menu items?
Well, they all love nachos. So the helmet nachos are a really big deal with everybody. If they have a choice, that's what they're going for. And it's usually the carne asada, which is the great marinated steak nachos. And then, the next thing is everyone loves chicken tenders. So they eat a lot of chicken tenders here, my staff. But in the premium world, which in the suites here, right, the food is a little bit different. It's a little bit more smaller batch cooking, so it's really more fine. Mm-hmm. I will do a shout out to Mr. Don Logan because he did love our sliced turkey breast with a blueberry turkey gravy.
Ooh.
Which he really loves. And so I put it on the menu this year for him in the suite, and it'll go on there next year and all that good stuff.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
We've been talking about all these great food items that we do have. What is one or some items that you would like to add?
Well, because we have so much local talent out here in the concession world, there's a little bit of everything: pizza and tacos and cheesesteak. But I am a big cheesesteak guy, and I created a cheesesteak, a Korean cheesesteak, that I kind of wanted to put out, but I really can't because Capriati's does a great job and their food is excellent. But I do want to explain my cheesesteak to you because this is going to sound really delicious.
I'm hungry already. Yeah.
Okay, good. So basically, same shaved ribeye, cook it off, and then we toss it in a Korean barbecue sauce. Then we put it on the bun and we melt, we saute peppers and onions, and then we put white American cheese on top of it.
Boy.
And then we do a Korean chili mayo. It's called gochujang. And we mix that with the mayo and we put that on the top of the sandwich. And it is sweet, a little spicy, it's juicy, it's delicious, it's great. I really just do that now at home. But, maybe one day.
We should have replaced the cookies with a live demonstration of that.
True, right? Yeah.
And now, what does it look like as far as your responsibility? Are you in charge of feeding the team as well, or are you just in charge of taking care of our guests?
No. We also feed the team, and that is a very big task. As anyone knows in sports, keeping the athletes fed with the correct food is really important to them. So we do feed them. We do pre-game meals for them, which are a little lighter. Mm-hmm. And then we do a post-game meal for them, which is a little heavier. And the process on that is that I will make a menu for the homestand and send it to the strength and conditioning coach. He will go ahead and look at it, make his adjustments that he feels he needs to do. He'll send it back to me. Then I will make my adjustments and then send it back to him. And usually it works from there. And, the idea behind that is, though, it's, no fried food, not a lot of fatty food, pretty healthy, low carbs, high protein, and definitely no sweets.
A lot of chicken.
A lot of chicken, correct. Yes.
And then do you get any feedback from the athletics as well? Because I know a lot of teams take a very big stock in what their players eat and how they fuel themselves. Is the strength and conditioning coach more or less your liaison, or are you getting any direct feedback from the club?
Well, he's my liaison, but we do find out. We actually take meetings usually at the beginning of the season with the clubhouse manager, and then either the A's staff and the strength and conditioning coach, and they kind of go through what they really, really want and what they need. And then we do our thing. We come back. We again create these menus, but it's really a fun process, and it's hey, we love feeding the athletes. We want them big and strong out there, and we want them to win those games for us. So.
Hey, they're definitely eating it all, right?
Yes, they are.
What are some of your challenges that you run into?
Some of the challenges as far as ballpark wide is, believe it or not, this city is huge, right? So think about all the places that have food. So getting that food from a big broadliner like, let's say, U.S. Food or Cisco, they can only carry so much. And, you're in contention with the hotels who have a lot of restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to be really smart and know what you're ordering. So if we don't do this really big meeting at the beginning of the season with the big broadliners and say, hey, listen, this is estimated food that we think we need for the year. So, that's how far out we are.
Wow.
So, I could honestly tell you, we tell them for the year we probably need anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 cases of hot dogs, which a lot of places won't stock or carry.
And is that more of a guesstimate, or is there a science that goes into
there's a
giving
bit of
them those
there's
numbers?
a bit of a science. We do a lot of forecasting here. We kind of have an idea of what each stand will serve, what each suite will get, what our clubhouse, what we serve there. So it's a lot of culinary mathematics, and it's hard on my brain.
You usually don't think that those two things are going to go together, cooking and math. Speaking of challenges, you talk about just the broad amount of food that you have to prepare on any given day. When some of it does not get eaten, what does that look like after the game? How do you either dispose or dispense of the extra food? What does that look like?
Well, we're actually pretty good at it. So we come in pretty tight, meaning we always make a small percentage of food over, no matter what we're doing, because we never want to run out. That's a big no-no, right?
That's just basic economics.
Right, yeah. So whatever we do have left over, we will see if it hasn't been cooked, but it's been prepared. We will give it to the food banks here in Las Vegas. We don't give them anything that's already been sitting out or prepared. All that stuff gets thrown out. So let's just say a lot of big things are produce. So after our homestand, if I have a few cases of lettuce or tomatoes or whatever, we line it all up. We actually use 3 Square. And we give them a call, and they come out and pick it up the next day. And it's great to feed our community and help with that. And it's a good feeling.
Definitely, yeah. It's definitely good to stay involved in a community that, has accepted the team so well and, really embraces it. Looking ahead, what can we expect in 2021 that's going to be different from 2019? If you could pinpoint
Sure.
one or two little things.
Well, once again, what we're going to do is we really didn't get a chance to do our menu for 2020, but we're still going to make tweaks to that menu here, and we have some wonderful food ideas, working on those, and I actually work on those all season long. I get a lot of input from fans, from players, from just the teammates here, cooks, managers, everything, and we take it all into consideration. And we try to, come up with some really cool, fun things that we know that the public's gonna like. And, we will go ahead and definitely come up with something outstanding in the next year. That's for sure.
And you've worked for T-Mobile Arena and the Golden Knights. You've worked here at the Las Vegas ballpark for the Aviators. We now have the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a town that you love, a town that you've been invested in an area, sports, and specifically the culinary aspect of it that you've been so invested in. You've made it your living. What's your take on all these new teams coming to town, especially for someone who's been here since the late 80s? I mean, it's probably just been an insane whirlwind, even in these last couple of years.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's great. And it all started really with the Golden Knights. That was the big deal here. And so fun, exciting, electric, just a great atmosphere in this town. And I think that's what brought more people to this city. And then, as you know, we built this beautiful park, one of the best in the country, right? So proud to be a part of it. And, of course, we want to have the great food to match it. But even like the Raiders coming, I actually assist them too. I help open up the Raiders because we have that food contract also. So
you're everywhere.
I am. But it's fun. It's just fun opening up. I've become now the opener here, I believe, in Las Vegas for sports and entertainment, which I don't mind. And but it's just unbelievable from the many years when there was nothing here except Cashman and some AAA hockey or
some minor league hockey, basketball, roller hockey.
Right, yeah. So, but it's really grown and it's exciting, and the more the merrier. And this town, I know this town loves it and eats it up, and it makes us feel great when we can make them happy. They come here, they enjoy a game, and they have great food. So.
He's the opener, Chef Gary DeLucia. How can the people find you on social media or otherwise?
Sure. On my Instagram, I am Chef G _. At Vegas, I'm sorry, Chef G _ Las Vegas. And then same thing with Twitter. And then, you could always reach out to me here at the ballpark.
Awesome.
I should be on the website.
And you're an easy guy to find. Just open an arena and you'll be there.
That's true. I'll be there. You got that right.
But we got him right here at the Las Vegas ballpark. He's our executive chef, Chef Gary DeLucia. Thank you so much for joining us
Matt,
here.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Great time. Guys, please come out. Come visit us. Next year is going to be 3 times as exciting because it's the 3rd year really that we're open. So
Las Vegas ballpark executive chef Gary DeLucia. Don't go anywhere. You're tuned into The Catch here at Las Vegas ballpark.
The jersey nights are awesome because if they're real, authentic, unbutton it jerseys, it's great that they're taking care of their fans and doing it for them, just showing respect to them so they can show support back. Being a Las Vegas Aviator fan, it's great because kind of have a family gathering that people can bring their kids to and enjoy a day at the field. It's definitely a magical experience.
Woo! Go Aviators! We're here at the Las Vegas Aviators Stadium getting our free backpacks this evening. Come on down here and join us for that W.
Go Aviators!
Are you interested in checking out the Las Vegas ballpark? We're offering tours every Friday. You can check out the details on our website at thelvballpark.com. Another very special event that we have coming up, the Aviators in Las Vegas ballpark are partnering with Vitalant, the largest blood provider in Nevada, for our one-day blood drive on October 1st in memory of 1 October. Takes place at Las Vegas Ballpark from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. once again on October 1st. Donors are encouraged to make appointments in advance at www.bloodhero.com using the sponsor code LVBaseball. Every successful donation receives COVID-19 antibody test results through their private online donor profile. That website, once again, bloodhero.com. Our team store here at the Las Vegas ballpark is open every Wednesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's your premium source for aviators, hats, jerseys, masks, and more. There's a premium item on sale every week. This week's item is this awesome Hawaiian shirt. It's 40% off for a very limited time only. We also got our trucker hat and our denim hat. Team store hours, once again, 11 to 4, Wednesday through Saturday, always online at milbstore.aviators.com. That'll do it for this week's episode of The Catch here at Las Vegas Ballpark. Want to give one more big thank you to our executive chef, Gary DeLucia. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel here at the Las Vegas Aviators, and click the bell on your screen for notifications whenever we post new content. Once again, thanks for joining The Catch at Las Vegas Ballpark. I'm Matt Everett.